Hello, welcome to Ed's Reading Group. I've got two fantastic books for you here. The first is by Sam Hay, a fantastic author. This is part of the Undead Pet series, and this is Return of the Hungry Hamster, and this is a book by Stripes Publishing. The second, perhaps for slightly older readers, is Sammy Farrell's Diaries of Weird by Eleanor Hawken, and this is a Quercus book. The first book then, for perhaps slightly younger readers, is by Sam Hay, Return of the Hungry Hamster. This book is absolutely hilarious. Joe absolutely adores when his Uncle Charlie, who is an archaeologist, comes to visit. Not very often because he's often abroad travelling, but this particular day he's just arrived home and as usual he's brought Joe a present. So I'm going to read from very near the beginning at the point where Uncle Charlie has just given Joe his present, but Joe isn't quite sure what it is, so rather politely he has to ask his uncle. "It's an amulet, Joe, a real amulet. Ancient Egyptians used to carry them for good luck." Joe held the amulet. It fitted snugly in the palm of his hand, and it felt warm and heavy. He stroked it with his thumb. The more he looked at it, the more he liked it. He especially liked the shape. "Does it have a dog's head?" he asked. Mum rolled her eyes and laughed. Uncle Charlie smiled. "Not a dog, a jackal. It represents Anubis, the Egyptian god of the dead." "Cool," breathed Joe. He couldn't wait to show it to his best mate, Matt. Just then Mum peered out of the living room window. "Aha, looks like the rest of the clan are back from the shops. I'll stick the kettle on again." As she bustled off with the coffee cups, Uncle Charlie leaned closer. "That amulet has been around a long time, Joe," he said quietly, "and it's very special. It'll grant you a wish." "A wish?" Joe looked up in disbelief. He could spot a leg pull a mile off. "It's true, trust me, but only one, so be careful what you wish for, because it will come true." Well, Joe absolutely adores pets, and so it's not very hard for him to decide what he is going to wish for, but things aren't always what they seem. This is a fantastically, brilliantly written book, absolutely super. Boys and girls alike will absolutely love it, I'm sure. I do hope you will. The second book for slightly older readers is Sammy Farrell's Diaries of Weird by Eleanor Hawken. In this book, Sammy lives with his family. They have a zoo actually called Farrell Zoo, and he absolutely loves it. He spends his life with snakes and gorillas and so on. He really adores his life. At the beginning of the book, he introduces his family. So I'm just going to read his introduction of himself. He's already talked about the rest of the family. This is Sammy. Job: helping out at Farrell Zoo to earn pocket money. Looks like: freckly face like a tree frog. Age: 12. Can be found cleaning out snake tanks, feeding crocodiles and hanging out with my best friend Mark. Top 5 animals, can't pick just one. Pythons, jumping spiders, great white sharks, wolves until today, iguanas. Well, at this point, Sammy meets somebody called Donny, who's a cryptozoologist. He's not quite sure why he's ever going to need to know somebody who studies animals that don't really exist. But again, you never really know what you might need to know. And at the next full moon, he does actually need Donny's help. Sammy finds himself in a race against time to see if he can find a cure for the virus that has afflicted his parents and his sisters. This is a very exciting book. It really is a page turner. I'm sure you're going to love it. And I do hope that you enjoy the fun activities that I've written to accompany both of these books.